before starting this whole course, I believe that you already know the basics of Swift language, so I would not go over them. And you can also watch my other videos where I have explained all the properties and stuff. So for today, we will talk about state property wrappers. So I will describe to you what it really does, and afterwards we would apply it in our application. So the state property wrapper is used such as this way. Like you write state, which with the same at the rate and then state, then you declare it as a private variable. It is recommended by Swift. It's not completely necessary, but you should do it since state is only limited to the one view your app is currently in. Suppose your app has four screens. There's the login, there's sign up, there's the main home page, and there's profile. So state property, if you apply the code for this view, then it would only work here only in the login screen. It won't affect the other three: home, profile, and sign up view. So that's essentially how the state property wrapper works. So for to write this, you just write state, then private var, and then the name you want to give to your variable. So for example, you could either declare it as an integer or as a string. So it depends. If you were to use your state property inside a text field, in the next slide I would describe more further why you would want to declare it as an integer or as a string. So let's just continue. I would delete this thing, and there you go. Yeah, so when you should use it. So whenever you want a view to change how it looks on interacting with the user, you would have to use a state property inside that view. So what exactly are views? Views is not that big screen you see in your app. Yes, that's also called view, but each and every simple component inside your code which you write to make your view, like you add text field in your view. Text fields, yes, these kind of text fields, or buttons which say tap me, or you could say pickers which are like wheel options. Wait, here, these are called pickers. So all of these are like views. So all of these are like separately called views. So yeah, coming back to when you would want to use the state property. So whenever you want a view that is essentially either this or this or this, to change how it looks on interacting with the user, you would have to use a state property. Suppose you want a text field and the user wants to enter something, and you want to save that state, like you want to show that thing written inside your app. Otherwise it won't show. Suppose if you use normal property and ask the user to write something, he writes, but it won't show up in your app. For that purpose, you have to use state property. So you use state property for that purpose, yes, to change the way how it looks on interacting with the user. So it changes as the user interacts with it. It's completely in the hands of the user, you can say, that how the value would come out to be. So again, how to use it now. So now we would study how to use it. So in order to completely use the state property, the views not just read, obviously you want the views to write it back also. Like in the very first example, we saw that we gave it a value none. But suppose now that you have to use this state property inside a text field, then obviously user would add some value, right? He needs to read it as well as write it back. Then it would definitely store some valuable information and not just a empty string. But in order to completely do that, you need to add this small dollar sign when you are writing the code for your view. Like when you write your text field code, instead of just a normal property name, you would have to use this dollar sign. That would ensure that there is a two-way binding, and this means that this view of yours can read as well as write that property. So that way you would be able to store your state property and like change it with the help of your views. Again, in the picker, as I told you, why you would need to like declare your state property as a view, as a string, or as an integer. Like for the pickers, you would need to declare it as an integer because it's like an array, or so you could say. It changes its value from 0, 1, 2. But in text fields only accept text type. Yes, you can use it to have numbers and integers as its input as well, but that's it for some other day. Like we would discuss how you could do that too. But for now, you need to like uh, use as a string. You need to declare your property as a string when you need to use it inside a text field, and you need to declare your property as an integer when you need to use it inside picker, as what we discussed in the very first slide, as you can see. So this is essentially state property wrapper, and now we would jump back to our code and I would tell you how